behind me are top-notch, and I appreciate their efforts. Now I'm going to start reading, all right, just so you understand it. Before I ask the students to reset the stage for our jazz band, I would like to say a few words of thanks to them so that they and you can hear it. The students on this stage with me and their parents out there in the auditorium have been my lifelines. Tomorrow marks 1 year and 7 months since I experienced my heart attack. And unbeknownst to me at that time, seemingly everyone I had ever come into contact with, along with their family, their friends, people they hardly even knew that they ran into a Walmart, began to bond together in prayer for me and prayer for my family. They also shared memories together of each other in band or whatever else that I had done with them, they shared together. And during my recovery, I was overwhelmed, and I mean overwhelmed, with love and support from my family, from church, from school, and this community. There was never a question, however, in my mind that I wanted to return to the classroom. When I did, these students made teaching so easy it wouldn't really work. It was a joy. Band parents also stepped up and made my job so easy I almost felt guilty. Not quite, but almost. Last summer's band and this school year have been quite the experience. These students behind me have been my pride and joy. They and I know that they are not perfect, neither am I the perfect teacher. But we have worked together to create something very special this year. Tonight, this concert is the culmination of those efforts, and you as an audience have already shown them your approval. I also want to acknowledge these students to you so you can once again show your approval for a fantastic job well done as the most exciting pep band in the history of Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Make sure you hear me. In the history of Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Huntington North High School Gym and Lapel High School Gym, let's give it up for the Lapel Pep Band. If I did not say how awesome it has been to see the shared love and respect that the basketball team, cheerleaders, and band have shown each other throughout this state championship season. That is the way it's supposed to be done. Now, band students, let's reset the stage for jazz band while I continue this conversation with our audience. All right, I'm going to continue here. I read through this at home several times to my family before I came over here, and my wife teasingly said to my son-in-law, now, you better practice this because you're going to have to get up there and finish it for him because he ain't going to be able to say all this. And I told him, no, I'll finish it no matter what happens throughout this thing. Whether you came to the concert tonight to hear the band and meet me in the Commons, or you just came to hear the band, you deserve to hear a few words from me as I approach the final days of my time here as band director at Lapel High School. How do I sum up a 37-year career in a few minutes? The state fair shows, the parades, the trips, the pep band, learning time in class, band booster meetings, and the concerts. Well, I can't. Music has been the means through which I have built relationships. relationships with students, parents, faculty and staff at LaPel School and other schools in Madison County and throughout Indiana. I have forged relationships with people in this wonderful community and beyond, and with people at 4th Street Church and church connections way beyond this local church. It is those relationships that are not coming to an end when I walk out the door after commencement exercises on June the 4th. Relationships are our life. Many of you in this room have a very special relationship with me, and we both know it. Some of you actually have a special relationship with me, and you may be completely unaware that I feel that way toward you. This auditorium holds a great number of people, and I imagine that I know just about every one of you in some capacity or other. You and I will continue to shape and mold each other's lives in some way. I've always tried to imagine how God is able to know each of us by name and to love us just as we are. God's capacity to do these things is way beyond my imagination. I am grateful every day that I know God's love for me can never run dry. It just keeps on flowing. Tonight, I have been given the great blessing of having you come here to share with my family and me. My heart is overflowing tonight with love and gratitude for your presence. I'm glad God does not have any problems remembering who we are by name. However, my brain has always had difficulty in remembering names, song lyrics, and in general, what word is that? I can't think of it. And by the way, that temporary memory loss it's got a name, it's called anomia. I never forget that word. Tonight, if I can't recall your name after the show, would you please just help me out quickly? Get it over with and don't make me feel bad. I appreciate it. My beautiful wife, Gay, has loved me and supported me through each and every day of our married life. I'm blessed beyond words to know that will continue. Our daughters, Holly and Amy, and now their husbands, Matthew and Terry, and our grandsons, AJ, Lincoln, Levi, and Mark Russell, have blessed our lives. Gay and I plan on continuing to live in LaPel far into the future. Gay will continue to teach kindergarten at LaPel Elementary until she makes her decision to retire. As to what I'm going to do, I will continue to communicate with the Lord and await His direction for my life. As with many decisions in my life, I'm sure He will make it abundantly clear when the time comes for me to begin a new adventure. But looking back on my teaching career, what an adventure I have already been blessed with. The memories I have of my time at LaPel schools are more than my poor mind can recall at any given time. I desperately want to share memories with you tonight. I also want to share with anyone else who could not be here tonight. So you tell them, for me, Mr. Scott wants to hear their memories of LaPel being. Except for naming family members, you've not heard me mention anyone by name. That has been by design. I knew as soon as I went down that trail, I'd leave someone out that might hurt someone's feelings, which is the last thing I want to do tonight. However, there is one name I will bring up tonight, Janine Terhune. She was here at LaPel before me, and she will continue to be here after me. And this community is blessed to have her here. Janine and I have put together some great concerts and programs with talented students of LaPel schools. You folks would never know it as casual observers, but Janine and I hardly ever agree on what kind of music choices we should have. And yet, when we've put each of our choices together, it has turned out pretty special. Special. That's the word that comes to my mind when I think of my friend and co-worker, Janine Terhune. She and I share a special friendship that has grown beyond the walls of LaPel School to include her family and mine. We've shared many life-changing experiences together, and I'm very glad that our friendship will continue. She has already informed me that Gay and I will join her and her family for a meal at her home early in June. At that meal, unlike any other June in the past 37 years, I will not be thinking or talking about ideas that I'm working on for a state fair band show. I'll have to think of other subjects to talk about, like, dang, why couldn't I get that many students to be in summer band when I was director? That is one thought that I desperately want to come true. I want the legacy that I am leaving to not just become a bunch of memories. I want the Lapel Band program to grow even stronger. If Lapel students and parents and future directors will allow it to happen, music will continue to be the means through which students can create new relationships with each other and with their director. Selfishly, I do not want to be forgotten. I would really like to be remembered as a godly man who tried his best to allow God to work through him and sustain the marvelous musical traditions that have been a part of this blessed community of Lapel, Indiana. Thank you for your presence here tonight and your continued support of the Lapel Music Department.
I realized Greg and Gay Scott had come to stay and become part of our community. When Greg asked me to speak tonight, I was flattered, and then I was terrified. How does one appropriately honor a person who has done so much for this school and its students? How can I talk about a person whose family has become intertwined with mine? And perhaps the biggest question is, how can I talk about a man I respect, trust, and love so much without breaking down? Here's how we're going to do it. It occurred to me that we do not allow students to leave this building at the end of their tenure without passing several tests. Therefore, Mr. Scott, I am about to administer your final exam. You asked me to do this. I have some numbers here, and you are to decide their significance. I hope you had a good breakfast. That's the advice they give kids before ice step. Yeah. Okay, first number, 6,630.
How many days I've taught?
Yes! 46,410.
Times I've told a kid to put his gum on his nose.
That could be true, but actually it's the number of hours, not counting summers or night rehearsals. You
mean not counting?
I couldn't figure that one. Okay, 6,629.
The number of times you finished a class and come into my office and vented.
Yeah, that could be true. But actually, that was one day less than the number of days I think he's taught. And that is, I think, the number of laughs we have shared, because there was that one day we did not laugh. Remember?
Yes, I do. I don't want to relive it either.
8.
Well, it's not the candles in the menorah. I'm sorry, you got me.
The number of musicals we've directed together, and I could be wrong on that. That's all I could think of. 35.
How old I wish I still was.
That's the number of high fives we've given one another after graduation, acknowledging another successful year over. Yeah.
And that takes place, at least in this building, back here in the band choir room area, when everything's put away and she's ready to go. I'm not yet, but she's ready. So we give each other a high five because we basically don't see each other for the summer. I work.
$667.
667. Feel like Ed McMahon on the old Johnny. How many people are here tonight?
Well, probably, maybe. Sometimes the times I've gone next door to ask you how to count an unusual or a difficult rhythm, and my students would say it's been more often than that. He is the guru of rhythm. 428.
Talk about pulling numbers out of a hat. 428. The number of days in the longest year I ever taught.
That's the number of times I've had to ask to borrow your keys because I've locked mine in my office. That could be a little low. 29. You should get this one.
Variety shows.
The number of variety shows in the old gym.
Those are the kind you got to eat while you're watching.
Yes. 10. Okay. That's the number of pounds I have gained in the last year since you decided to eat healthy, so you brought every kind of candy any sales rep ever left you and put it on my desk. Okay, you did not do really well on the test, but those are just numbers. The important things have to do with the program you've developed, the memories you've given us, both as spectators and participants. Times like the state fair, when lapel is always the crowd favorite. The St. Patrick's Day parades, where Savannah and Boston people wait to cheer for the lapel band. I imagine very few bands from our state have fan clubs, actually, in those cities because they love lapel. At football and basketball games, where both the teams and the fans are energized and entertained by the pep band and that fun drum line. The joy everyone feels when the jazz band goes into their signature song, Woodchoppers Go Paul. Greg Scott, you had a vision of what you wanted your band to be, and over the years you created a musical organization that has done more than just make good music. You created a disciplined band family that works and plays well together, and who take pride in representing their school and community. Your students always know how much you care about them and know you're a good listener. You are respected and admired by your colleagues, and you've worked to make a good music department, not just a good band. So I will end by simply saying thank you. Thank you from all the people in this auditorium who, like me, are grateful for the lives you have touched and changed. We look forward to many more years having you here in lapel. And, oh, you did pass the test. it all in the first time.
That's just what I was gonna say.
Herschel Hinkle has a special thing he would like to present right now.
Hi there, Mr. Scott, just in case you forgot me.
I
It's a while ago.
no. Thank you, I got it.
Mr. Scott, LaPel Community Association is honoring you for your longtime contribution to LaPel. Not only for your years of dedication to LaPel bands, also to the community. Therefore, the LaPel Community Association is dedicating a lamppost on Main Street to you. The plate on the lapel, on the lamppost will read, honoring LaPel's band director, Greg Scott, June 1979 to June 2016, by the LaPel Community Association. Congratulations, best wishes in your retirement.
See why I had that printed out so I could read. The next portion, our concert's over. These kids have done a fabulous job. I don't want to put them out by name, but my family that is here in the front row includes not only the ones that I mentioned, but my brother and his wife and son are here, and I have 6 or 8 cousins that have come to share this with me tonight that I know of. If there's more, I'm sorry you didn't tell me you were coming. And whether or not I mention your name or what, I would like for my cousins and my family, we are going to go down the aisle and out to the Commons first. So we can already be out there after this is over with, and you just come by and share with me or whoever you want to out there in the Commons area. We have 3 tables of pictures. Those of you that are here early. 6 tables of pictures. Plenty to look at. And I would like for you to come and visit me, however many people can. And I thought of this today. I don't know when this tradition started, but every year, the last day that I have band class with the seniors present before they start going off and doing this luncheon and whatever they're doing, we have a time that they can share stories from their 4 years experience in band. So I thought after a while, if it works out okay, then I'll just get your attention and say Detail to the Ready or Band Tent Hut or something like that. And we'll just kind of come together and you guys can share your stories with everybody instead of just with me for a short time. If it works, if it doesn't, fine, but I thought we might try that. But anyway, just as a reminder to you also, we will be shutting down at 10:30 if you're still hanging around here by that time. And from my heart, not only from the page, but from my heart, when I was typing it up, I thought, I know, good grief, people are going to be here for these kids, if nothing else. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting these students in their endeavors in music, and obviously for supporting me. So if you will allow us just a moment, we are going to exit that way, and then please come and join us and talk. Thank you again for coming.